Hey guys, welcome to our Toon Duelist YouTube channel. Today I want to show you my G Golem deck profile. This archetype had his one and only print at the Battle of Legend Crystal Revenge. I bought it because of the advanced crystal beasts, and I draw a lot of the G Golem cards, so I decided to make a deck profile around about this archetype. And yeah, I think that's a really cool one. So let's start with the main deck. There are only 3 G Golem, or 3 different G Golem cards for the main deck, 2 monsters and 1 spell card. The first monster is the G Golem Pebble Dog. I play 3 copies of them, and his effect, if he is normal or special summoned, you can add to your hand or special summon another Pebble Dog from your deck. And if this card is sent from the hand to the graveyard, you can add 1 G Golem card from your deck to your hand and can only use each effect once per turn. Our second G Golem card, also a monster, is our G Golem Rockhammer. Also play 3 copies. And he has the effect, if this card is in your hand, you can discard another 1 Cyberse monster and reduce this card's level by 2 until the end of this turn. And you can tribute this card to special summon 3 G Golem tokens. So you can throw him to the graveyard, reduce his level by 2, normal summon him. You can use his effect to search next card. The next card is our G Golem spell card. It's called Gravity Balance. I play also 3 copies of them. This card is always treated as a G Golem card, and you can target 2 of your Earth monsters with the same name that are banished or in the graveyard, and special summon both in defense position, but negate the effects and destroy it during the end phase. It has a graveyard effect. If a G Golem monster you control would be destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. These are the only 3 G Golem cards for the main deck. So let's move on to the next one. Next monster to play is the Witcher Kid. Play also 3 copies of them. If this card is normal special summoned, you can special summon 1 Cyberse monster from your hand in defense position. You can do this once per turn. Our next card is the Code Generator. I play 2 copies of him. If you use a monster as a link material for a Code Talker monster, you can use this card in your hand instead. And if this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard as material for the link summon of a Code Talker, you can send 1 Cyberse monster with 1200 or less ATK from your deck to the graveyard. So also you can use our second G Golem Pebble Dog. So you have 2 in the graveyard, and then you can use his effect to special summon these 2. But these I will show you later in a combo at the end of this video. Let's move on with the Dotscaper. I also play 2 copies of him. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon him, or if this card is banished, you can special him also, but only can use 1 effect per turn, and each effect once per duel. Now we have the Ramp Clouder. Play also 2 copies. You can tribute 1 monster and then target 1 Cyberse monster in the graveyard and special summon it. Next one is the Trooper. You can send 1 level 2 or lower monster from your hand to the graveyard to special summon this card. Also a nice effect for a Pebble Dog, because he is level 2. Then we'll go on with the Cyberse Gadget. If he's normal summon, you can target 1 level 2 or lower monster in the graveyard and special summon it in the defense position, but negate its effects. And if he is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon one gacha token. So we move on with the backup Secretary, 2 copies. If you control a Cyberse monster, you can special summon this card. Then we play 1 Cyberse Whitehead. If you control 2 or more monsters with the same type, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if this card is sent to the graveyard as a link material, you can make all monsters the opponent controls lose 1000 ADK until the end of this turn. Now we play 1 Anti-Alien once per turn. If this card battles the monsters in the battle phase, quick effect, you can normally summon 1 Cyberse monster. And our last monster, the Link Slayer. If you do not control a monster, you can special discard from your hand. And once per turn you can discard 2 cards, destroy that much spell or trap cards on the field. So now we move on with the spell and trap cards. The first one is the Signet Cavalry. Play 2 copies of them. If a link monster you control is destroyed by battle or a card effect from your opponent, you can target 1 monster in the graveyard, accept a link monster and special summon it in defense position. The next one is the Signet Backdoor. You can target 1 Cyberse monster you control, banish it, and if you do this, add 1 Cyberse monster from your deck to your hand, whose ATK is lower than the monster's original ATK. And during the next standby phase, you can return the banished monster back on the field, and it can attack directly in this turn. Next one, Monster Reborn. And now we have some generic cards or hand traps, like the Evenly Matched, 1 copy, 3 copies of Dark Ruler, no more, 3 copies, the Ash, and 2 copies of the Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. So that's it with the main deck. Let's move on to our extra deck. Our first monster in the extra deck is also our first G Golem card, and it's the Crystal Heart. I play 3 copies of them. You need 2 Cyberse monsters to special summon this card, and his effect, you can target 1 Earth Link monster in your graveyard and special summon it to your zone this card points to. And if you do this, you can place 1 GG counter on this card. Only use once per turn, and Earth monsters co-linked with this card gain 600 ADK for each GG counter, and you can make a second attack during each battle phase. And if you attack a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. So these are the first G Golem card. Our second one is the G Golem Stubborn Menhir. Also 3 copies. You need 2 Earth monsters to special summon this card from the extra deck. And if this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can target 1 Earth monster in the graveyard and special summon it or add it to your hand. And so the way to go is you first summon the Stubborn Menhir, then go into the G Golem Crystal Heart, special summon him from graveyard, and with his effect you can special summon another Cyberse monster. So the next monster is one of our 2 boss monsters. It's the G Golem Invalid Dolmen. I play 2 copies of him. It's a Link 3. You need 2 plus Earth monsters, and co-linked monsters you control are unaffected by monster effects activated in your opponent's field. I think that's a really strong effect. And all monsters your opponent controls that can attack must attack this card. And once per turn you can discard 1 Cyberse monster and draw 1 card. And if this co-link card is destroyed, you can negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls. And I think that's one of the 2 monsters you have to go in. Let's move on to our next and last G Golem monster. He's our second boss monster, and he's called G Golem Dignified Trilithon. Also 2 copies of him. It's a Link 4. you need 2+ earth monsters. All monsters your opponent controls must attack this card if able. Once per battle, if this card battles an opponent's monster before damage calculation, its quick effect, you can send 1 earth monster from your hand to the graveyard, and until the end of this turn, the opponent monsters loses 280k, and the important part, negate its effects. He has a second effect, when your opponent activates a card or effect, targets the link monsters you control. Also quick effect, you can negate that effect, and if you do, destroy that card. You can use each effect once per turn, so you have 2 negates. That's a good one. Now we have a few other link monsters, generic link monsters. We start with the Nightmare Unicorn, play 1 copy. Let's move on to the next card, the Transcode Talker. We have another Decode Talker, Heat Soul. Now we have the Splash Magician. The last card in our extra deck is the Code Talker inverted. So that's it with the deck profile. Now we move on to one possible combo. So guys, now I want to show you one possible combo with the following starting hand. We have here our G Golem Pebble Dog, our G Golem Rockhammer, our Link Slayer, then we got Dartscaper and 1 Code Generator. First we start with the special summon of Link Slayer because we do not control any monsters. Then we use the effect of the Rockhammer. We can discard 1 card from our hand. We're doing this with our Pebble Dog. Now his effect activates in the graveyard. We can add 1 G Golem card from the deck to our hand. We're using the spell card Gravity Balance. Now we can reduce his level by 2, so we can normal summon him. Then using his effect, we tribute him to a special summon 3 G Golem tokens, like this one. So then we're going into our first link by using 2 tokens. We summon our Starborn Man here. We're going directly into the next link in our Crystal Heart. And if we do this, we can special summon 1 Earth Link monster in this area. Using his effect, special summon 1 Earth monster. We're using our Rockhammer. Then we go directly into the next link summon by using these 2 cards into our Invalid Dolmen. So now we can use our Dolmen from the field and our Code Generator from the hand to special summon our Transcode Talker. Now his effect activates. We can now send 1 Cyberse monster with 1200 or less ADK from our deck to the graveyard. That's what we're doing with our second Pebble Dog. Now the effect of the Transcode Talker is activated. We can special summon a Link 3 or lower monster from the graveyard. We're using this one. Now we can activate our Gravity Balance. We can now special summon 2 Earth monsters in the graveyard with the same name. So, like this one. Then we go into another menhir by using our 2 Pebble Dogs. Like this one. Like so. And now we can use the effect, our Invalid Dolmen. We can discard 1 Cyberse monster and draw a card. We discard our Dartscaper and draw a card. Now we can activate his effect, special summon him, and then we can go into our boss monster. All monsters must be Earth. This one. And now we have this board. We got here our Crystal Heart. We can put 1 GG counter on it. Every Earth monster linked to this card gains 680k for each GG counter on this card, and can make a second attack during each battle phase and inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. Then we have here our transcode talker. Each co-linked monster gains 580k and your opponent cannot target any of them with card effects. Then we got here our invalid Dolmen. Co-linked monsters are unaffected by monster effects activated on your opponent's field, and all monsters your opponent controls that can attack must attack this card. And here we got our last monster on the field, the Dignified Trilithon. All monsters must attack this card if able, but first I have to attack this one. This card also got 3280k. And now we have here two quick effects. The first one, during the battle phase, if this card battles an opponent's monster before a damage calculation, you can send one earth monster from the hand to the graveyard, and until the end of this turn, that opponent's monster loses 280k and also negate his effect. And the second effect, also quick effect, when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a linked monster you control or more monsters, you can negate that effect, and if you do it, destroy that card. What I forgot about this card is, if this card, which is co-linked, is destroyed, you can negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls, which is a very good effect, in my opinion. And yeah, that's it. I hope you liked it. If yes, leave a comment, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye bye.